So, guys who don't know who I am, what's really cool about Body Power and what's here this weekend is a diverse group of athletes. Come from all different genres and professions, using the gym not as an ends, but a means to every given end that they want. That's real imperative, because anybody going into the gym, you have to go in there before you go there with a purpose. What's your goal? What's your directional path? What are you looking to achieve? Once you know what your goal is, what you're looking to achieve, then you can manipulate the gym in a million different ways of which is in there to reach your end goal. So people that go in there blind, yeah, they get some results here and there, but people that go in there with a true path of where they want to go, they make more use of the time. It's more effective, more efficient. So therefore their goals become more reality. What Brian's talking about, some of the bodybuilders, the power lifters, the marathon runners, the athletes, the fitness models, all use different tricks of the trade. So my genre of expertise is more in the fitness modeling. How to find a lucrative nature, how to find a business within the fitness realm to basically get paid for what you love to do. Also taking that into commercializations, into product endorsements, sponsorships, movies, TVs, that kind of the mainstream atmosphere of the gym. So I'm going to open it to you guys for questions, and I'm going to just kind of dive into everything. I have a really unique philosophy on diet, training, on lifestyle that might kind of surprise you, but I'll give you a track record on how it works for me and how I found success with it. So let me open up the questions for you guys, and who's got the first one? What's that, brother?
I've just come out of a photo shoot
Yeah.
days ago. I'm just wondering what your view is on reverse dieting for photo shoot.
Photo shoot diet? How to get in shape for photo shoot?
Reverse dieting, photo shoot.
Reverse diet?
Yeah, reverse dieting.
Reverse dieting, I have no idea what that means. What does that mean?
It's when you gradually increase calories.
Yeah.
After photo shoot, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you guys something about this, and that's a good question. I'm just going to stand up because I feel like sitting down sucks. People ask me, they go, "Hey man, what's your off season? You know, what's your off season? When are you on? When are you off?" Because a lot of these bodybuilders they come for shows, right? And then between the shows, you know, they get a lot bigger, and they come back down. You know, they go, "What's your off season?" I go, "I don't have a fucking off season. I call that unemployment." You know, I've got over 250 covers, more than anybody in the last 10 years, and why do I have them? Because I steal them. I'm a cover whore. No, seriously. What does that mean? I mean, I live it and breathe it every single day. I don't get the luxury of knowing I have a shoot coming up in 2 months and to dial it in and slowly bring my dieting to a forward diet, to a reverse. I don't have that option. Every day I must be on point. Because the photographers will call me up and they'll be like, "Hey man, you won't believe this, but the guy didn't make his flight. Are you free, not tomorrow, not next week, but in the next hour to come shoot a cover?" Well, if I want to be successful, I have to be ready for those opportunities. Those opportunities come up more often than you know. So yeah, I go, "Yeah man, give me the address, I'll be there in 45 minutes. And I take his cover. I take the next box cover too. And I continue to take it. Because I'm always in shape, because it's not a life, it's not like a career, it's a lifestyle. The thing is like, all the training you do to get in shape, how hard that is, why give it up? And then to get back in shape, it's easier to maintain shape. Well, you guys are, like for me, I came here from LA. So I flew on a plane to Birmingham, right? 747. Big fuel tank, right? That plane never uses all of its gas in any destination because it might be, you know, I don't know, it might be turbulence, it might get rerouted. They always need a reserve bit of gas, right? They want an average to use 2/3 of their fuel. 2/3 of the fuel on a given trip. 1/3 of that fuel is used in the first 50 miles. They take that 747 down the runway, up to altitude to 37,000 feet. 1/3 of the fuel's gone. Then another third of the fuel to take it from LA across the pond here to Birmingham. What's that, 4,000 or 5,000 miles? Same amount of 4,000 or 5,000 miles it took, 1/3 of fuel. Same amount of fuel it took 50 miles to get off the ground. That metaphor is your lifestyle. Somebody out of shape to somebody already in shape. Meaning, the amount of effort it takes to get in shape, it takes 1/3 of the fuel to get to altitude, 50 miles. The same amount of effort can go 5,000 miles once you're in shape. So once you're in shape, that's the hardest thing. To stay in shape, very, very simple. And why is that? Because it's based off your body and the energy sources in your body. When you guys are walking around with a gut or any kind of body fat, that's reserved energy. It requires a very little bit of calories to move any kind of fat. It's a stored energy source. Where to move lean mass requires a tremendous amount of calories. So if I were to take myself here, standing, right, at like a 5% body fat, and there's a clone of me at 30% body fat, right? Both the same genetics, same potential, same blood, everything's identical. This one's fat, one's thin. And we run around this room 100 times, and we come back here, sweating, exhausted, everything else. The lean person has burned 10 times more calories than the fat person. Because to move fiber requires more calories. To move fat, store energy, very little calories. It's kind of like credit cards. You guys have credit cards? You get behind on your credit card debt, and every month you pay $100 off to, whatever the debt is, right? But you're in debt, so there's interest running. So even though you pay $100 every month, only $20 goes off the principal. The rest of it all is going off the interest. But if you were able to limit all the debt, then $100 goes to payment, $100 goes to principal. But if you get behind, the interest rates are growing. So even though you're putting money in there, meaning you're going to the gym, you're working hard, even though you ran 5 miles, only 2 miles come off the principal because the rest is all body fat. If we can cut the fat out, cut the debt out of credit cards, then 100% effort, 100% return. So when you're lean, then you are that 747 flying at altitude. It's a little bit of turbulence. It doesn't take much effort. Very easy to maintain it. But after a photo shoot, you're all dialed in, you're looking good, right? Why come back down to the ground and do reverse dieting? Just then take off again. How about you just stay above everybody and look down at a motherfucker and say, yeah, that's right, the view's better here. You're never gonna catch me. I'm gonna go fucking higher. That's the mentality I live in.
How would you get higher? Through diet, would you increase?
When you climb a mountain, anybody in here can climb the first 80% of it. Then what happens? Like when you guys are kids, right? When you're a baby and everything else, well not baby, but young age and everything else, big dreams, big aspirations, right? Man, when I get older, man, I'm gonna be a doctor, a lawyer, I'm gonna be a professional athlete, I'm gonna be somebody, a principal, I'm gonna leave a legacy that I've walked this fucking earth. People are gonna remember my name. You have these big dreams, right? And then as you get older and older and older, you start getting, then all of a sudden you realize to achieve that status of eliteness, where everyone, aspires to be, it requires something called hard work and dedication, sacrifice, due diligence, sweat equity. Fuck, man, that sucks. I actually have to work to achieve something. Then all of a sudden we start to measure in the balance pool the achievement of what that feels like to the amount of work it takes. And everybody starts saying, oh man, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of work. And we start to lose sight of these big dreams we had when we were kids. And then slowly and surely we get older and the windows of opportunity start to close, And then we look back saying, damn man, what could have been? That sucks, because you can never answer that inside internal debate of what you could be. To take that first step is very hard towards greatness. What's harder than that first step is later in life is the windows do close. Looking back on your life, you could have been great. That's a shitty situation. So when you're at altitude, how do you get higher and higher and higher? Well, as you're climbing that mountain, as you're getting older, as a young kid, these big dreams, they start to falter. When you climb the mountain, the first 80%, everyone's with you. It's easy. Then we get to find out what you're really made of. When adversity starts to hit, when the pressure hits, when the workload's tremendous. When, you have to, like before, when you're just starting to get in shape, we haven't been to the gym, every time you work out, it's brand new to the body. So the body responds right away. But your body's a lot smarter than you think it is, so it finds a more efficient way to do the same course of action. Muscle confusion, if you don't keep changing it up, your body is smarter than you think it is. It will override what you're doing, so the amount of work you do won't have the same results. You have to keep changing it up. So even though you went, let's say, an hour in the gym, when you first started out, you saw great results. Later in life, years later, an hour doesn't get the same amount of results. You have to work 10 times as hard just for a percentage. To go from 80 to 85, then to go to 90, then it's like years to get to 91, years to get to 92, to 95. Now all of a sudden we're like the top 4 percentile. What makes that differential? The belief, the internal will of the individual to see it through. The mountain they climb, 80% of the mountain required just as not as much effort to go 1% at the top. And you look around, there's nobody there. It's just you and the shadow. No one's gonna help you, because no one's been there. You see a few corpses along the way, and people have tried and faltered. You step over those fuckers. You're like, thank you for the foothold. And then you start to walk down a path less traveled. You don't take the beaten paths. You hit the path less traveled. It's rockier, it's steeper. But it leads to principle. It leads to a life remembered and forgotten. Every day you challenge yourself. The confidence, when we grow our body, right? Yeah, we're building our muscles and everything in the gym. Use it or lose it, right? It's perishable. If we don't continue to use it, continue to practice it, then our body conforms to what we're using it for. Our body's amazing. So if we go balls out every single day, our body will become balls out conditioned. When we start taking time off, then our body gets time off conditioning. It runs parallel to your lifestyle. So does your confidence, your belief. It's perishable. Every day you can challenge yourself. You challenge yourself in the gym. You go to failure and beyond. I say every set, I go until pain says hello. That's when I know I've given it my all. Same with what we're doing. You know, you guys cannot go to work the same way. You cannot have the same friends the same way. You cannot say, you can't live in this little thing called a comfort zone where you run the ins and the outs. You must step outside of the comfort zone to understand what your true potential is about. It's the challenges in the gym, that muscle confusion that changes your muscles and grows them. Same with your mindset. You must challenge your mind. You must always put yourself in arm's way in a way to grow. It's the failures in life where we learn the most lessons. It's not the successes. So if you guys are thinking, where do I go in life? What do I do next? The best way to start is to write a list of what you're scared of. What's your biggest fear in life? What are you running from? Because everyone's path is usually pushed. Not from within, from external factors. They're scared of this, you know? They tried this once and got knocked down, so now they're telling everybody, no, I want to go over this way. Really, they want to go that way, but they're not going to be so fucking cool and be honest with you. They go, no, I want to go that way because that's the best way to go for me and everything else. But what they really want to do is they're scared of failing, so they don't want to go that way. Most people are altered to fear. That fear is self-created. It's intangible, meaning this. Tangible, I can touch it, feel it, see it. Fear you can't. It's inside the head. It's a disease that we create. We can destroy it too. It doesn't exist on its own. We gave birth to it, we can give death to it. It's a parasite. It feeds off of us, the host. The energy it feeds off is confidence. You guys have heard of Isaac Newton, right? The 3 laws? This third law is that energy is never lost but transferred. So if I were to throw this, roll this thing down the street, right? It'll keep going until it hit things, and then that energy is then transferred and then it stops. It's never lost, but it's transferred into the ground and everything else. Inside of ourselves, there's 2 energies battling itself. There's a confidence, belief of what we can be. It's a fear. And they both rob each other. But these fears that we have, we self-create, are very small windows. I mean, we created it. If we make it out to be this monumental thing, we're freaked out about it, like, oh my God, I'm so freaked. I mean, it keeps you up at night. We give such power to it. If we actually face it, the person we always wanted to be is right behind that. We created that door. If we face it, we kill it, right? We realize, one, it's not as big as we created it to be. Once we kill it, energy's never lost, but transferred. A more capable person comes inside, into the next endeavor. Then you start thinking, wait, man, maybe I'm capable of more. Maybe I'm selling myself short. Maybe I can do this. Why am I selling myself so short? I got for years. I never wanted to run that marathon because I thought it was going to be the end of me. I just finished running the marathon. And the picture they took, yeah, I'm exhausted, but there's a picture of me crossing the finish line. My body's drained, my eyes are alive, bigger than ever, man. The will to live is just there. I framed it, put it on the mantle. Every time I have a bad day, I come home and I look at that picture. That's when I did it right once. I remember that, using that, learning from it to my next endeavor in life, to be successful in that field too. That's good. Every single day we challenge ourselves. You know, I'll tell you a story. You guys ever gone bungee jumping? Anybody here ever go bungee jumping? You guys know what it is, right? It's like when idiots jump off bridges and stuff. It's scary. Some people think it's really scary. Or skydiving. Anyone know skydiving? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Bungee jumping is a lot of fun. A lot scarier than skydiving. I've gone skydiving about 3,000 times, and bungee jumping maybe a couple hundred. Bungee jumping is scary because you look down and you see that fucking rock. You're like, dude, that's a reality, man. I couldn't land on that thing. Skydiving, this whole NEC is like the size of a quarter. You're so high up, it's like, your brain doesn't register I could hit that because everything looks like fairy dust, you know? It's until you start falling closer, you start seeing it go, oh, I hope this chute opens. But when you bungee jump and you look over, you go, wow, that's 100. I can count the people. I don't want. Oh, why? So I went bungee jumping with this girl, and she is so cockstrong, man. I mean, she's got bigger nuts than I do. She is so confident. I mean, I can't shut her up. It's a 5-mile hike to get to this bridge, and there's only one way to get there. You got to hike it up. So the whole way up, just talking. You know, how great she is, how this is that. I'm just like so sick of hearing this girl. I mean, it's great that she's confident. I appreciate that. I think that's the sexiest thing anyone can have is confidence. More than looks or anything else. It's a confidence. It's the ability of what they believe. But this was like over the top. I mean, she hasn't really, you know, achieved much yet, but she just talks like she has. So it got annoying. Anyway, 5-mile hike. I'm like, gosh. She's like, I can't wait to jump, man. I'm gonna do some backflips off it, all this stuff, right? We get up to the bridge. And all of a sudden, reality hits. No more talk, now it's time to walk, right? She goes over to the edge, and, oh, yeah, let's go. And she looks over. And all of a sudden, you see it happen right away. Fear sets in. Her hand starts to shake. She starts to lose a sense of balance. Being on her feet, at one time was stable, now she's not. She has to put 3 points of contact. She comes down to the ground now, where she's stable, and she starts to come back from the edge like this, man. She goes into a fetal position. She has lost all control. This one capable person was all gumption, everything else, bigger than light, now all of a sudden buried in seconds from fear. They say when fear strikes, that's the fastest and easiest way to ever beat it, because it's young, it's a baby. It hasn't rooted in you yet. It hasn't taken over anything. If you ever want to beat fear, as soon as you taste it, as soon as you sense it, you face it right on. That's your best chance of beating it. For her, she saw it. She freaked out. And then every second from that point, it grew stronger and stronger and stronger, to the point she was in a self-paralysis state. She couldn't even move. So I go up to her, I'm like, what's up? There's all those big balls you had way up here. What happened to that? Who's this person? I don't even recognize you anymore. What's this all about? She can't even talk. She's like, I don't know. I go, can you spell your name? She's like, hey, fuck you. I'm like, I go, you know you're going off that bridge. I don't know if I want to now. No, see, now we have a problem. Because once you commit to something, once you say you're going to do something, prior to the start of it, you finish it. Your word's got to mean something. That's the only thing we have in life. Who cares how many cars you have, how much money you have, your titles and everything else? It's your name. That's all you have. And as soon as you start to gamble that, then you lose everything behind it. Everything's based off your name, your reputation, what you believe. You start to say you're going to do something and you back out from fear, people start talking about you behind your back in ways you don't want. So you got to be the person you speak of, right? I started to give her a little pep talk, but this is what we're going to do. And I talked to her about 20 minutes. Finally, I get her to go to the bridge. We get her strapped up, right? We got some instructors there too. So, let's move. I need to. So I get her all geared up, right? She comes to the bridge. There's a, fence here. So you got to step over that fence. When you step over that fence, there's a piece of metal, maybe a half-inch thick. Probably about so wide, and then 200 feet. That's all there is. And you're supposed to tell your body to jump off this thing. She gears up, right? She puts her foot over. I mean, she's holding on to this bridge like she's not going to jump off of it. It's weird. It's like she doesn't want to fall, but yet she's going to jump off of it. It's weird. The body is challenging itself. It doesn't know what's up, down, in between. It's a very confusing state. And you've lost motor functions because you're so scared. She finally gets over to the edge. And we're all trying to pep her up, I got like 5 people with me, we got the instructor. We're gonna count her down, right? We're gonna give her 5 count. And she's gonna jump, get all pumped up, say, okay. And she doesn't even know she's female. She might think she's got, who knows. So like, all right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And she, fuck no, she just grabs on this thing like it's grandma, man. She's never gonna let go. The instructors see this a lot. They see it all the time. So they finally talk her up, standing back up, and try to give her all this motivation and everything else. Trying to get her to make that plunge. She can't do it. They've tried over and over again. Like 10 minutes she's on that ledge. And she's shaking, and she is not moving at all. The instructor said they never seen anything as bad as this. That freaked out. So they said, all right, let's bring her back over, man. She's not gonna jump. I'm standing over here, man, watching this. I'm like, no way. I'm like, let the instructors do their thing, right? Man, no success. They're bringing her back over now. And I'm like, fuck that, man. So I come running around the side. She's right there, she's coming back over. I come running up through the instructor's like, boom! Decked her right off the bridge. You guys seen horror flicks? Pretty scary. They have that music, they scary. Whatever the fuck came out of her mouth was like a soundtrack for it should have been recorded. It was just me. My skin's crawling right now thinking of it. It's like a devil came out of her. She went back and they said voices I've never even heard of. I started thinking maybe I did the wrong thing. Because, she went down and she just, I still see it in my head. She comes down, doesn't hit the rock, just says, what's up? and then comes back up. What just happens there as she comes back up is a different voice, different sound. Transfer of energy, fear is lost, confidence now. She comes back up, man. It's like a girl that's got proposed to, kids on prom night, gave birth to her newborn baby. She just like, yeah! She jumped 5 more times. 5 more times. As we left the bridge, we had to hike 5 more miles away. You think she talked a lot on the way up? On the way back, man, I couldn't shut her up. But here it is, man. Let's look at that real fast. Because we all have these forks in the road. We all face them, right? These opportunities of life. Do we face them, or do we let them sail by? She jumped. Maybe she got some help. But either way, she committed to it, right? Her potential, who she is, she walks away with 100% of it. Nothing's left in that moment in life for her to wonder what if about. She moves on 100% capable of who she was when she went there, if not even more capable now, because she believes more in herself. If she didn't jump, part of her existence would have been left on that bridge permanently, always wondering about it, affecting her in her next decision-making process. If she's going to say, yeah, I'm going to do it, she might not say that anymore. She might not be so confident, because one time she did say so much and didn't do it, and people judged her, so maybe I'll be quiet now. I'm not going to say anything until I do it. Then that way I'm safe. And that way, if I don't want to do it, I don't have to. You see what's happening there? She slowly starts to doubt herself. And it starts to affect who she really is. That happens over and over again. That fear starts robbing her of the true potential of who she can be. But instead of ever wondering what if, she faced it. Never has to wonder about it. Now she learns from it. So the next endeavor, she goes, you know what? I was so scared. I didn't want to jump, but I did. Then I jumped 5 more times, and it's the greatest thing. She's gone back a bunch more times. She loves it. So instead of her robbing herself of what could be, she faced it, and it wasn't as big as she created. In life, we all hit these things. They're always forks in the road. Do we embark on them, or do we not? That's what I'm saying about, more than the gym, about the muscle confusion, making your muscles do something it's not used to. That's where growth comes. We must challenge our mindset that way too. We must embark on our fears, whatever challenges us, because right behind those fears is the person we've always wanted to be. That's what makes life fun, Doing the same thing over and over again is boring in life. You would never watch the same movie 15, 20 times with you, over and over again. No, you like to watch a new movie, you like to read a new book. Same with life, our endeavors. We have to always force challenging ourselves. Then people get successful. Like, all right, man, well, I just did this, I went after this, and now I'm successful. You gotta be really, really careful with success, guys. Because as great as it is, it's also a detriment. It's a double-edged sword. It can rob you of who you are. Because success, for most people, defines who they are. They get some accomplishment, right? And then what happens is they start to rest on that. They say, yeah, man, I'm successful. That's who I am. It's all good. Who am I? I'm the champion. Prior to them being the champion, who were they? The person trying to become the champion. The two different flips here is that the person prior was defining success. They gave value to the success. Once it got the success, then the person rests on it. Now success defines that person. Only one of them is in a forward progression. The other one's in a sedative state. Sedative state. It's like pond water, not moving. What grows in that? You guys have ponds in your backyard? If you don't have some circulation in there, what grows in there is mosquitoes and algae. No one's coming to your house for a cocktail looking at that zest pool. No. Gotta put a sprinkler in there, some current. That's what life's gotta be. You gotta keep moving, you gotta keep challenging yourself. So be very careful with success, guys. Because you know the expression they say, never forget where you came from? That's not an expression to be humble. It's not an expression to be like, hey, be nice to the small guys of life, be nice to the poverty, always be respectful. No, it's not about that, it's about you. Don't forget who you were before you were successful. Because if you don't forget who you were, you remember that fight, that energy, what you want to go for. You remember that person. That person got you to this. This is not the ends, but yet the intermission of where we can go. And it's really important. So we don't let success define ourselves. We're always challenging ourselves. When I get successful in any field, I get scared. I jump ship. I go into something totally new. Because I don't want to get complacent. A lot of people do. They get fancy cars and houses and big bank accounts, and they go, yeah, it's all good. Why do people think they die right after retirement? They work their ass off, become 65 in the US, become retired, and get Social Security, and then they die 2 or 3 years later, because there's no purpose in life. They're not waking up for anything. It's becoming sedative, the challenge. The mind always wants to be challenged. Anyway, let me get some more questions, and we'll keep running. What's up?
What's your philosophy on diet?
Philosophy on diet. Yeah. So, you guys heard of 5-6 meals a day? Yeah, it's bullshit. No, it totally is. You think back in the caveman era, you know, the family of cavemen, you think that the little, you know, the mother caveman says to the lady, the baby caveman goes, hey, don't eat that bone, you might spoil your dinner. No, it doesn't work that way. You think they had alarm clocks going off at 2 in the morning? Oh, gotta get up and eat. No, it's survival. If you guys ever watch Animal Planet or any kind of nature, you know, let's say that a gazelle's running in the prairie and some lion comes and just mauls it and attacks it. Doesn't kill it though, but wounds it almost fatally. What does that animal do? Do you think it goes eat? No. That animal goes off into hibernation, goes MIA, off the grid. Doesn't eat anything totally fast. And why does it do that? To conserve as much energy as it can to repair and rebuild the damage done. Well, in the gym, we're doing the same thing, but in a healthy way. In the gym, we don't grow in the gym. We just create the demand for our body to grow. We grow outside the gym with rest and nutrition. When we can combine that to win that war in a time facet, supply versus demand, then we win the nutritional war of growth. Before I get there, so this gazelle goes off the grid, right? All this energy to repair and rebuild. In our gym, we are basically doing the same thing. We are actually causing healthy micro tears. In the muscle, the smallest point of the muscle is called a sarcomere. That's made up of a lot of protein filaments, actin and myosin filaments. There's these little things called cross bridges. When you flex your muscle, you're bringing the actin, every time I try to talk, like, need a third hand here, man. Oh, no, okay. So there's 3 actin and then 2 myosins. When you flex, you're bringing the actin over the myosins. Cross bridges like a ratchet, you bring it over, right? But when you lift, you get that pump's bleeding because you've ripped them. Those actin and myosin filaments, they separate. That's the best we do in the gym. Best we do. That's all we can do. That pump we get is blood, bleeding in the muscle. So after a good workout, that's success. We haven't grown, we've gotten weaker actually. So now, at a state of which is in disarray, our muscles are in dire need, right? We give the nutrition to it. The body's #1 priority in that first 45 minutes after the gym is to repair and rebuild the healthy micro tears we just did there. So what happens, we give them the right nutrition, the actin and myosin elongate. They grow back to the point of origin, securing itself. Once it's secured, that's why it's 48 hours you need at least before you train it again, it locks it in. Now the muscle started here, now it's longer. That's a successful lift. But again, the hard work in the gym isn't paid forward unless we give the nutrition and the rest to repair what we did. It's a give and take, right? So what we need to do in nutrition and dieting and everything else is to eat around our activities. We don't eat to satisfy appetite. We eat to fuel the body. So if we understand that principle, the repair and rebuild, right? If we can take our energy and so basically, if you're eating 5 or 6 meals a day, 80% of your energy every single day is spent digesting food all day long. Only leaving 20% remaining balance, natural energy, for the most vital functions in our body. The repair and rebuild of the immune system, rebuilding the actin and myosin filaments to grow the body, and then detoxifying the body of any impurities, lactic acid, any kind of toxins in our body. Only 20%. If we can reverse that schedule where there's less digestion and more repair and rebuild, wow, wouldn't that be better? Oh, how do we do that? We still need to get nutrition. Yeah, but the key word is digestion. Eating solid foods. If we eat solid foods all the time, our body needs to stop and break it down because it's like, food to our body, it can't get to our muscle. You can't grab a chicken and fucking push it into the muscle. It's got to go through this whole system, broken down, and then code it so our body can accept it. Well, we can cut that process down if we drink liquids. It's already in the form. It's only a few metabolic steps away to be delivered right to the muscle. Now, when we come out of the gym, that 45-minute window is crucial to get the nutrition in our body. It's not 45 minutes to eat something and swallow it. That doesn't count. It's 45 minutes to go through the gauntlet, to pay its dues and get to the muscle. So if we go liquid, it's faster. So if we're lifting, right, we do a pre-workout, something to give us energy. It doesn't matter what it is. Do a line of cocaine, I don't care what it is. It's just about go to the gym and be firing 5 pistons. Everyone's like, oh, you need this, you need that. Shut up. All you need is to finish your workout to the max of your ability. Whatever it takes to make that happen. By the way, 90% of the game's intensity. It's your mindset. You can't buy that. There's no supplementation there. There's nothing you can eat for that. It's your belief that this is no longer acceptable. I need to push past this. I believe I can be that person. I'm caught in the middle of where I was and where I want to be. And fuck if I'm going that way, I'm going here. And today I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going there to check the box and say, I'm going there to make a difference. That's your natural intensity. No longer is second place acceptable. I kill myself in the gym. And when I kill myself, then I have the right to expect it all out there, but it doesn't work the other way. You can't half-ass a workout and expect any more than a half-ass life outside of this. It's a mentality. 90% is the intensity. Whatever it takes, pre-workout, get some sugar water, do any kind of, there's a million pre-workouts there, all selling to you a lethargic ass nature, by the way. Well, this one we do it better, this one, You don't need any of it, you just need natural intensity. You go there, you get the workout done. Now we're in the position to play. Now we've done the work. I want 150% return of my investment in the gym. How do I do that? One, I devise a workout program that's not overtraining. Allows enough interval rest periods, days, between any given muscle group. Then, right after my workout, liquid nutrition, right into the system, to the muscles crying out. When you guys are working out, your muscles, imagine it's a sponge, right? Any given muscle. And a happy muscle is a nice, moist sponge. That's the purpose of sponge, You pick it up, drips a little bit, that's a nice sponge, man. Nice muscle, happy muscle. Sitting on the couch watching the game, happy muscle. Then you go to the gym, you start working that sponge, working that muscle. You start to bring it out. That's the muscle glycogen. That's the energy of the muscle. At the end of the workout, if you really killed yourself, that sponge is dry as can be. Dying for nutrition. It's not what you eat, it's what your body absorbs. In the gym, we create demand for body to grow. We also create demand for body to absorb the nutrition. If we don't bring out that muscle in the gym, right? And we're sitting on the couch, happy muscle, all moist, and we pour all these great, aminos and whey protein and glutamine, HMB, creatine, all this great nutrition supplementation. Spend all this fucking money in the supermarket for it. We have to drink it all. But you pour anything on a moist sponge, what happens is it just falls off. Nothing's absorbed. It's a waste of money, waste of time. Dumbass. Let's make use of it, make it more efficient. We wring that sponge out in the gym. It's dry, boom. When we pour all that stuff on it, it absorbs it. Your body uses it. Then we win. All of our efforts in the gym are paid 110% forward. But if we don't bring it out, and we don't pour the liquid, we can't put a steak on top of that sponge. That doesn't count. It's got to be absorbed. So my nutrition is this, to answer your question. I eat one meal a day. I eat between 2 and 6. Why 2 and 6? Because by then it's all burned off. I live in a very high protein, low carb diet. I call it the low no. It doesn't mean I don't take carbs. It just means I take what I need. At the end of the day, the residual fat going to sleep is 0 to a very low amount of carbs. I don't eat sugars. I don't eat pastas. I don't eat breads. All my carbs come through vegetables. Meats and vegetables. So I eat between 2 and 6. I call it the lawnmower approach. Lawnmower approach, man. You guys have lawnmowers, you have a lawn, you cut your lawn. Whoever looks at the gas in a lawnmower before they start cutting the lawn? I don't. I just grab the mower and start cutting the grass. Eventually that lawnmower will run out of gas. And when that happens, I'll run to the shed, get some gas, fill it in, and continue cutting the lawn. That's me. I get up, I go about my day. I live a very busy lifestyle, traveling a lot, movies, films, shoots, covers, working out. And working out, by the way, is a luxury. I don't always have the time to do it, so I do it first thing in the morning. I can guarantee I had that. Some of these people are like, man, it's just so hard to work out. I'm like, fuck you, man. I wish I had time to work out. I wish it was that easy. I cut these 3 fingers off. I cut these 3 fingers off during construction. I remember before that happened, yeah, it sucks, but wow, silver lining, it's such a blessing because it made me think about things. Everything's an opportunity to learn. You gotta look at that way. You can't be like, oh, feel sorry for me. No. What am I gonna learn here? Failure is where we learn everything. Adversity is where we find out character. This happened, what happened there? So I remember before my fingers got cut off, I was rushing. I was like, let's do that, deadlines, this and that. I was running out of time and everything else. I never stopped once to say, wow, what an opportunity it is just to be able to do this job. How cool is this, man? Improving my house, building this, building porch. How cool is that? No, I'm just like, man, I don't have time, stressing, just missing the moments, right? I remember going to the gym around that time. It's like, fuck, I gotta get to the gym, I gotta get ready for the shoot. Everything was work, no longer love, no hobby. Everything was work, right? Then my fingers get cut off. Sideline, can't go to the gym. Wishing I could go to the gym. Time's so slow. Forced now to take it all in and really evaluate things. A lot of self-discovery there. Forced by an accident. You don't have to go through that pain, that adversity to get that benefit. We can stop once and learn. So I get about my day, I just go, right? And later that day, the gas runs out of the lawnmower. Me. So I pull over, get some food, and keep going. That food can be anything I want. Anything I want. It's on the 747 at altitude right now. The body's lean, it's burning calories like crazy. You don't get fat once you're in shape. You really do not. Do I get enough nutrition throughout the day? Yeah, because everything's liquid. I eat around my activities. If I have a day off or I'm on the couch not doing much, I hardly eat that much that day. I don't need to. If I'm doing 2 a days, getting ready for a shoot, mornings and evenings, I'm eating probably 5,000–6,000 calories. We're not eating more liquid. So you eat around your activities. It's supply versus demand. You create a demand and you give a supply. That's growth. It locks it in. Just to eat doesn't do anything for your body. It causes your energy inside yourself just to digest instead of the repair and the rebuild. So that's one meal a day isn't easy. I've been doing it for 10 years. You know, if you start coming off like 5–6 meals, I really encourage you to get down to about 2 meals a day. You do not need anything more. When you get on this and you get rid of the carbs and you live in this on proteins and your vitamins and minerals and your complex carbs and your all your greens and broccoli, spinach, green bean, other kind of stuff, you find you're lethargic for a period, but then it kicks into overdrive and it's a cleaner energy. It's a cleaner fuel. When you guys go out drinking, you get a hangover. You know what that's about? Who thinks you get fat off beer? Anyone in here? Beer guts? I don't want to say anything. Yeah, so when you drink alcohol, it goes to your liver. The first thing that byproducts into is called acetates, an energy source. It goes into the blood. It's very easy for your body to break down acetate for energy. So when you have alcohol in your system, your body stops burning fat. It doesn't need to. It takes too much effort to burn fat. Acetate's an easy, cheap fuel. So as soon as you drink, your body stops burning fat. It starts burning acetate. That's a shit fuel. So when you burn stuff like that, it produces a byproduct. Those byproducts give you hangover and everything else. If you eat clean, eating clean, there's no byproducts. It's a clean fuel. So you don't have that residual effect. I just bring up that for what good food is and everything else. Yeah.
And the 2 to 6, that's when you decide to be like
2 to 6, and why is that? Because it's
that's in the day, 2 to 6 p.m.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
4 hours, 1 minute.
I don't eat for 4 hours, but somewhere in that 4-hour period I eat. Why is that? Because it's around my workouts. I work in the morning, and I do it 2 days in the evening. I don't want to go to the gym with anything in my stomach. If you guys are eating like, hey man, everyone tells me I should eat a meal before my workout. You better eat like 2 hours before. Because if you have any food in your stomach, when you go to the gym, that's not digested yet. Your body's like imagine it's got like another plane scenario. The towers that controlling all the flights, what do you call them? The air marshals or something? The guys that, in the tower marshal. Yeah, so all these planes are coming in, right? They're all priorities. You gotta judge them all, right? Well, when you eat at home, there's only one plane, he's got one priority. Then all of a sudden you go on a jet, there's another plane. So you stop this priority. So instead of your body going and digesting that food and pulling the nutrients and all the macros out of it, right? It says, whoa, stop that, we gotta go over here now. We got another plane coming in, it's called our muscles we're using. We need to get oxygen to it, and you take the CO2 and the lactic acid and the Krebs cycle, get it out, and we gotta work that one. Well, this food has been undigested, also stomach cramps, also, that cramping, undigested food. So if you guys want to go to the gym, and want to eat something before because you feel like you have to, but one, you're wrong, but two, you feel that way, you gotta eat about 2 hours before, so you can break it all down in time so you go to the gym. Liquid's the best way to go before you go to the gym. I'll take a pre-workout shake, I'll start drinking as I go to the gym, drinking throughout the gym. As soon as I'm done in the gym, I already come with a shake in hand. What's in that shake? And this is kind of imperative, guys, for your growth. Protein, creatine, glutamine, sugar. That's what's in there. But the protein, it's all whey protein. 2 types of proteins, whey proteins and casein protein. Whey proteins are fast-absorbing protein. Only works if your body needs it. You don't give whey protein during the day on the couch, you give casein protein, slow-release protein. The same thing as like a sugar or a complex carbohydrate. One's a slow energy, release energy, the other's a fast release energy. It's when you need it. What overrides a good carb and a bad carb is the right time or bad time to take it. Taking really oatmeal, good carb before the workout is a bad time to take it because it gives you that stomach cramps. So what overrides a good carb or bad carb is a good time or bad time to take it. So all right, get off track, guys. In that shaker bottle, so whey protein goes in there. How much? 0.25 grams to pounds you weigh. So if you weigh 200 pounds, that's 50 grams of whey protein powder goes in there. Creatine, 5 grams of creatine, 5 grams of L-glutamine. Sugar, I like dextrose. It's just a basically baking sugar. It's just a simple crappy sugar. That's what we need. That's the best type of carb at that time. 0.4 grams of pounds you weigh. 200 pounds, that's 80 grams of sugar goes in there. It's all powder form. As soon as I finish Fill water in there, shake it up. I don't care what it tastes like. It's about fueling the body. Just choke it down. Right when your body needs it. 100% absorption, because the sponge is dry. 110% return of your investment of time in the gym. That's smart. Repeat that over and over again. Dreams become reality. That fast, that easy. So what we do is we become a student of the game. It's no longer guesswork. It's a science of intensity. Studying it, learning the biochemistry of the body, how it works. There's a language your body gives off, guys. Like I'm speaking English, other people speak Spanish or French or Italian, all these different languages. I don't really know those languages, but if I learn the language, then I understand what that individual's trying to tell me. Our body has its own language. When we go to the gym, we start to learn this stuff. We study our body, the biochemistry, how it all works. The language it gives off, we start to decipher and translate to what it needs. Therefore, we can give it what it wants, when it wants it, and therefore success. You ever have a baby crying, baby's crying and everything else? You don't know why it's crying. You grab the baby, you pick it up, you start dancing with it, you do everything that's not dancing. What's this baby crying for? You're trying to give it food and everything else, pop the titty out for it, I don't know, whatever. Trying to make this baby all relaxed, right? Well, the baby, if it can talk to you, it just says, man, my shoe's tight. Can you just unloose my shoe? You don't know that. So what I'm saying is a lot of people do that with the baby going to the gym. They just try to do anything, but they don't really know what it is. All roads lead to Rome, supposedly. Well, one's most efficient. So the more you study it and understand it, the more effective your workout's going to be, more efficient. Don't go into anything blindly. Really do your research. And not only research going forward, but research going backwards. So you make a law. You write down your weights, how much you weigh, what you look like, take some pictures, what your diets are, what your training's like. And then you start to see a progression. You're growing, you're growing, you're growing. You have back research to support what you're doing. So when you do hit plateaus, you're like, why am I in a plateau? Well, let me go back to what I have been doing. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm not doing that. Let me try that. Back to growth. So you can back research. You know where you've been, you know where you're going. That's really imperative. What other questions on the diet? So recap with it all, I go liquid more than solids. I eat solids between midday, so it's burned off. I usually become very lethargic after that. I try to get in like a little afternoon nap right there if I can. Wake up in the morning, pre-workout, right after the workouts, all liquids. And I'm drinking liquids and proteins all day long, liquids. One big solid meal is probably like 2,000 to 3,000 calories in that meal. It can be whatever, but it's just like, it's just chicken or pizza, McDonald's, whatever it is, it doesn't matter if my body is burning the shit out of it. Then I go about my day, another workout in the evening, whatever else, and it's all liquids. I go to sleep on a very low to no carb diet. I burn it all off. So if you guys have carbs in your stomach when you go to sleep, your body's going to burn those carbs for energy. It's easy for your body. Your body's always going to burn the easiest thing to burn. It's just smart. Just like when you're lifting bicep curls and you start throwing your back into it. It's not like you're trying to cheat the system and trying to lift more. It's just the way the body works. The body doesn't understand. It's like, man, why are you making this one little muscle do all this work? When I had these legs and back, why are you making this one thing to do all it? It doesn't understand it. It doesn't understand the ideology of growing a big muscle, right? And when you do grow a big muscle, it looks at it as not as something of attainability and something to be proud of. It looks at it as an energy source. Whenever we get low on energy, we run out of carbs. When we put energy, we'll go right to the muscle and burn it down because it's easy to break down in fat. By the way, when you guys are running and stuff, fat loss and everything, it's all off your heart rate. You guys get on a treadmill and you start hauling ass, and heart's going like crazy. Your body's like, oh my God, what are we doing, man? We need energy, we need it right now. The only thing your body can break down fast enough to sustain that current level of activity is carbohydrates, which is probably 10, 15 minutes, what's in your stomach, and then it's gone. Then when we go to fat, bypass fat, because it can't break down fast enough to sustain activity, so your body knows that, so it doesn't even try to break down fat. Then it goes right to your muscles, and it starts breaking them down, which makes sense. Look at a marathon runner. He doesn't look like Phil Heath running a marathon. It doesn't work that way, right? So if you want to lose fat, then you lower your heart rate. Get on a treadmill, increase the elevation a little bit, watch the game, 45 minutes to an hour, just walk it out. Total fat burn. If you guys look at the treadmills, you see two charts, 65% heart rate, 80% heart rate. One's aerobic conditioning and one's anaerobic conditioning, fat burn. It's about understanding that. So many people get on the treadmill and they're trying to lose weight, right? They feel like they gotta run hard and sweat everything else. They're not burning any fat. The other thing with cardio, let me ask one more question, right? Cardio is a whole nother issue. What's the next question, guys? Yeah, because I do not do any cardio. No more cardio. When you guys get down to single-digit body fat, get rid of the treadmills, throw them away, you don't need them. And if you do get on the treadmill, get ready to throw away your muscle size. It doesn't go the same way. It's a very delicate balance. Two types of people. You got that plane, right, on the ground and one at altitude. Basically somebody in transition, transforming their life, body, and somebody in the maintenance phase. Got to the level they want, just kind of maintaining it. The cardio for these two individuals is totally different. Let's call the person transitioning themselves person A, right? They're trying to lose weight or whatever, they're trying to transition their body from A to B, right? We'll call them A. The person that's already gotten there is in the maintenance phase, we'll call them B. Two totally different types of cardio. Cardio, there's two types of cardio in each group. Cardio is used, one, to burn fat, or two, to get in good cardio aerobic condition. The ability of the body to take in oxygen and get rid of CO2, right? One's an endurance thing, and the other one's about just fat burning. Two types of cardio, two different people. When you are overweight, 15+% body fat, you're in that transition phase. Your cardio for endurance and your cardio for fat burning is different than the person that's single-digit body fat, in shape, cardio for endurance and that. You're basically, when you're overweight, trying to lose weight, your cardio for fat burning is exactly what I'm saying. You get on the treadmill, you're walking 45 minutes to an hour, 3-4 times a week, as much as you can. Every time you're walking on it, you're burning fat. You're burning fat. The more you do it, the faster you're going to start shredding off that debt of life. When I'm saying the credit cards and everything else, even though you pay $100, only $20 on the principal. The faster you get that fat off, then the faster the $100 all goes to principal. And you're soaring high in altitude, and you come into a new scenario on cardio. So there's a fat burning thing for when you're overweight. It's, in the evening's the best time to do it. Before you go to sleep, burn off any residual carbs. And you go to sleep, and when you're no carbs in your stomach, when you're sleeping, your body's a fat burning the entire time, burning more and more fat all night long. Continue to do that. You slowly just melt the fat off your body. So it's a lower heart rate, sustained for 45 minutes to an hour, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week if you can. The more you do it, the faster it comes off. It's that fast. Easy, done. To do cardio to build the endurance of the muscle, the aerobic conditioning, you're going to jog. You're going to go for a jog. You're probably going to go, I don't know, a couple miles, 4 or 5 miles, run and everything else, 3 times a week, push it, run a little faster and everything else. That your basic cardio that everyone knows is when someone's out of shape, to get in shape. That's what they do. Once you get in shape, now you got to be careful. Because you're at low body fat and you're holding on more mass. Your body sees it as a red. It sees it like, uh-oh, we're in trouble, man. We don't have enough stored energy. We don't have enough fat around our organs. This is not safe. Even though society says it's sexy, the body says, dude, we might die today, man. We need, throw me a bone here or something. So what you have to be careful is your body will burn all that muscle up for energy. Because it doesn't value it. It values its state of which I don't have any energy, I don't have fat, I don't have enough fat. So we have to be very careful what we're doing. So all the cardio I just said gets thrown out the window in this situation when you have low body fat. The guys that are like 9% body fat and they want to get those lower abs to pop, this is how you do that too. Remember it or not, this is where we get to find out if you're a champion. One, becoming a student of the game, learning why it is first before you apply it. But this is how you do it. This is how you get those percentages up there to be the best in the field. 2 types of cardio at this state, right? You have the endurance, which you need, and you have fat burning. Believe it or not, you're still going to burn some fat because you want to shred it down as much as possible. Okay, the fat burning one. You're going to go to the gym, do your lifting routine, right? Let's say, for me, I'll just give you my example. So I do a 5-day split. I go chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Saturday, I either go right back into chest, it's day 1, and start it up again, no rest day, or I go outside the gym, do something totally different. CrossFit, just kind of shock the system, plateau kind of breaker, and then go back into the gym. I don't plan a rest day, they happen organically. Meaning I don't plan Wednesday's going to be off, and then I'll go on Thursday. Because I'll take Wednesday off, and then Thursday I just get booked for an audition, or I have to fly somewhere, I can't get to the gym, boom, 2 days just took off. And use it or lose it, right? Just like your confidence. You don't continue to test it, you start to lose it. The more you're not in the gym, then your body starts to follow the path of what you're doing. If you sit on the couch, it becomes a couch body. If you're in the gym, it becomes a gym body. So I don't like to take those days off. Not because, yeah, could I? Sure. But the thing is, it's not work, it's love. I enjoy the gym, it's fun, So if I don't go there, I kind of feel out of whack, It's like a drug addict. If he doesn't get his fix on, he gets a little cranky. If I don't go to the gym, I get a little bitchy, I start to kick the dog and stuff, No, I don't kick the dog. All right, so back to the point of cardio. I go off track a lot. All right, so fat burning cardio. So I go to the gym Monday, so it's chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs, right? Mass lift in the morning. When I'm doing cardio, I will come back to that gym 3 times a week and do the same workout I did that morning. So let's say on a given week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're gonna be my cardio days. So chest, back, shoulders, arms, legs. Chest, that's a cardio day. Back, shoulders are cardio day. arms, legs cardio day. And the next week I'll do the other 2 days. So I did a hard chest workout. Those workouts are usually about 8 exercises, 4 sets apiece. They're pyramided up in weight, down in reps, like a 12, 10, 8, 6 kind of module. Then a drop set, 4 sets per exercise, 8 of them, that's 32 sets per body part. So 4 on a flat press, 4 on flat flies, 4 incline, 4 decline, in that module. When I come back that evening, you know, about 2 minutes break in between your sets. When I come back that evening, I'm gonna do the cardio, the fat burning cardio for a low body fat individual. I do the same exact workout again. But instead of doing the order of which and the repage of which, I do this. I do a circuit, I do 3 circuits. So instead of doing 4 sets of one exercise and then 4 sets of another exercise, I do one set of that exercise, 1 set of the next exercise, 1 set of the next one. I do 8 exercises, which is 8 individual exercises, and then I come around again and do 3 more of them. My repage is about 30 to 40 reps per set. My time in between is a sprint from this to that, about 30 seconds at the most, and then again. Elevating the heart rate, prolonging for a period of time, about 45 minutes. The morning workout might be an hour, hour 15. This one's gonna be done within 40 minutes probably. But balls to wall, running around the gym, cardio session. But in the cardio session, I'm using muscles. So therefore the body doesn't burn them. The other thing is, when you go off the treadmill, right? You're on 2 scenarios, a guy's on the treadmill running, right? And a guy's working out for an hour. The guy on the treadmill running is gonna burn a lot of calories. After he gets off the treadmill in that hour, boom, he stops burning calories, that's it. The guy in the gym lifts circuit training, right, for an hour. Doesn't burn as many calories as the guy on the treadmill, but as soon as he stops his workout, he continues to burn calories throughout the day, all the way around, 24 hours. So he comes back to the gym where the body's repairing and rebuilding that healthy micro tear, burning calories. So in a 24-hour period, this person here, who worked out for an hour in the gym, has burned 10 times more calories than the person on the treadmill. On top of that, his body mass index, his BMI, which is your lean mass and your body fat, is starting to shift, meaning more lean mass, get higher and higher in altitude, less body fat. So yes, he's lifting to burn fat. So he's building muscle while burning fat, increasing his lean mass, burning more calories in a 24-hour period. That combined gets you closer and closer to the goal without robbing you of the muscle tissue you're trying to build. But that's enough, you know, that's just cardio, that's just burning fat. We also need to stay in shape. We need the endurance of the muscle. How do we do that without robbing our muscle? High intensity training, 20 minutes to the max, balls to the wall, spiked. That builds the endurance. And it's no more than 20, 25 minutes. Otherwise, your body's gonna start eating your muscle. So when you get down to a low body fat, it's all high intensity training, 2 or 3 times a week at the most. And the other cardio sessions, the same workout session you just did, again that night, same lift, but in a different facet. Instead of a 12, 10, 8, 6, now you're looking at 30, 40 reps per set, minimal rest in between, 20, 30 seconds. Where in the morning, it's about 2 minutes in between. Does that make sense for cardio? When you guys are doing any type of cardio, even if you guys are out of shape, you know, I mean, you're 30, 40%, I don't see anyone in here out of shape, but you know, you guys know who they are. You go on that expo, you see plenty of them. You know, people that are really, you know, holding a lot of body fat. And this is scientific research. It's not me just saying something, my crazy theory. But when you work out, guys, in a cardio aerobic conditioning with weights, tremendous more calories burned, tremendous more fat loss. I mean, it's overwhelming. And I don't know why people don't do that. They go on a treadmill and they just kind of run and everything. That's the worst. It's a waste of time. It's like getting in a car trying to get from here to London, right? And going through the city, stoplight to stoplight to stoplight. That's what that is, a treadmill, you know? Or you can go on the fucking highway and just, that's what being smart is about. That's what lifting with weights for cardio is. It's a fast result. Do you guys know that if you guys go for a run 4 times a week, say 5 miles, you get in shape? I'm not talking about losing weight, I'm saying cardiovascular. You do that for 5 months, you know, 3 or 4 times a week, run about 5 miles, 5 months long. It's equivalent to 2 weeks, 4 times a week, 2 weeks or 8 sessions of high intensity training at 20 minutes apiece. Meaning the person after 2 weeks of high intensity training is in just good shape as someone 5 months of running. That's fucking crazy, right? Yeah, 20 minutes is balls to the wall, your lungs are bleeding. But it's 20 minutes. Doesn't rob you of the muscle you're building either. Sounds smart, right? It's not easy though. But usually the hardest things in life are done the least, but provide the most. If you're up for it, that's your fastest way to success. What's another question?
Each time with your protein shakes, do you always add the sugar?
Yeah.
Every time? Okay. How many shakes do you roughly have a day?
Every time I lift, every time I work out. Or if I'm at my house doing construction or doing something in the activity like that, I do it then too. Why is the sugar so important, guys, after your workout? Anyone know?
explanation, Clark.
There you go. That sponge that's wrung out, it's wrung out not from water, it's your muscle glycogen, your energy of the muscle in order to work. The sugar is a fast energy. It's like in a construction metaphor. You know, I buy all these great raw materials. I'm building a house, right? I buy the great mahogany woods and the granite and travertine stones and all the great, and it's on the driveway. It doesn't do me any good. That's my protein, my glutamine, my creatine, it's all there. It's not until I get the construction workers there to start picking that up, cutting it, and putting it in place and start to build it. That's the sugar. That's a construction worker. After a gym, we need all the construction workers on site, ready to go to bring all these raw materials, the proteins, the glutamine, everything, to the muscle to build the house. That's what the sugar's all about. And you burn it right up. So on average, it's about 0.4 grams per pound you weigh. If you weigh 100 pounds, it's about 40 grams. If you weigh 200 pounds, about 80 grams. If you weigh $150, it's 60 grams of sugar. That's about right. It's not 100%, it's trial and error. You have to give and take a little bit and feel what it is. But on average, that's about right. Meaning, that's as much as you need without pouring too much on the sponge where it starts to leak. When you pour too much on a sponge, you know, it starts to leak. That's when your body grabs and stores it away for later. And it stores it in the form of fat. So we want to pour it to saturate without oversaturating. So it's about 0.4 grams for the sugar, about 0.25 grams of protein. Yeah. What else?
Would you go for size then losing weight, losing fat, or you should go for losing fat then?
Yeah.
Over a long period.
Great question, man. You know, there are diets out there and everything else. The most strict, PhD intense diet is a bulking diet. That's when you have to be on your game. That is the hardest diet. Because it's so easy for your body to get fat. What we want to do is put on lean mass. You know? We don't want to put on fat and muscle and take the fat off. Because we're going to lose some of that muscle mass. Well, why don't we just put on the muscle mass and that's it, right? How do we do that? Well, you have to, just like the sponge, you know? After a good workout, we wring out the sponge, then it has the ability to absorb nutrition. That's what we have to do. We're going to throw more calories at us, you know, so we grow more, you know? So if our static calorie count for, you know, where we don't gain a pound, lose a pound is 3,500 calories a day, we're going to increase it to 500 calories more. So it's 4,000 calories a day. So we're giving you more nutrition on it. That has to be absorbed in the sponge. We have to wring it out. In order for it to wring out, to be absorbed, we have to come down to a low body fat. A low body fat is when our body's in the red, like, uh-oh, man, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? We're nervous here. So anything that comes in, the body's going to use it. So we come down to a low body fat. Now we're ready for a bulking phase. We increase the calories, increase our work, and we monitor it weekly, almost. We watch our body fat. If our body fat goes over 10%, we're done bulking. We have to stop because we don't have the responsibility to absorb all that nutrition. We need to come down on our calories. We're not doing, something's wrong. Let's not continue to do the wrong thing. Let's bring it back down, reevaluate it, figure out how it is, so we keep our body fat down while we're gaining mass. That's the only way we can do it. If we start to go over body fat, then our body's getting lazy and lethargic, and we're putting on more size in the wrong facet. Two people out there, right? Let's say one guy goes to work every day at the bank, pushes papers and stuff, you know? And he eats 4 or 5 meals a day. Another guy's a soldier in war. You know, maybe once a day, if he's lucky. Different mentalities, different metabolisms. A person that's starving, and that's really hungry and everything else, right? Guy in the war, maybe a guy in a concentration camp, or prisoner of war, anything else, has been depleted, right? When I was at Ranger School, 70 days, I walked in at 2:15, I came out 164, my body was just emaciated. No nutrition, no sleep, and everything else. I started eating these bagels with mold all over them. I found them in the dumpster. I started, the best tasting bagels I ever had. It wasn't any good. My demand for them was there, right? My body just wanted it. You take somebody starving, right? You throw him a steak, and then you throw this fat CEO a steak who eats 4 or 5 times a day. The fat CEO, he'll look at the steak, he'll cut the fat off, eat a few bites of the meat, and I'm full, man, and then just leave it there. You throw a steak to the guy starving, he eats the meat, the fat, the grit, the fucking bone. The thing leaves the earth. He's that hungry. His body makes use of all that. When you come down on low body fat, that's your metabolism. Anything you put in there, your body's going to use it. You throw a Twinkie in there, your body's going to use it and get strong for it. But you come to the business person, the CEO, he eats that same steak. You don't eat a little bit here or there. He's a picky eater, you know, he doesn't eat it all. Well, all that he doesn't eat goes stored to fat. There's no demand for his body to eat it all because he's got all this cushion, all this energy. So he can be picky. He's not in the red. He's lazy. His metabolism is lower. It's not as fast activating. Use it or lose it. Not just in your eating, your metabolism, or the gym, you know, working it out, or your confidence. It's a lifestyle. You stop using it, you lose it. That makes sense on the, yeah, okay. What else? Come on, guys.
What's your biggest failure?
Biggest failure? That's a great question. I like these kind of questions. You know, that's a really hard one to ask, you know, because the thing of failure, you know, everyone thinks failure is negative, right? It's a bad thing. You know, it sucks, a loss, or anything else. I don't see it that way, man. I've had a lot of things that didn't go my way, you know. I've hit rock bottom, man. Bounced off the bottom of the barrel. But usually your greatest hour is followed after your worst hour of despair. That's where you learn so much. You know, that's where you have a reason to make it happen now, because you've lost everything. There's only one way to go but up, right? And those things suck. Those failures are terrible, right? And they hurt. But there's so much discovery there. And if it wasn't for that failure, you wouldn't be the person you are right now. So to look back on it with hindsight, yeah, I failed. That sucks. But I don't see it as failure, because that's where I've learned so much. I am this person because of those failures. I can't take that away from my life and expect to be the same person. So in a weird way, failures are my greatest hours. You know? If you're successful, you don't learn anything in success. You really don't. Yeah, people, you know, pat you on the back and your buddies and everything else, but the real lessons are when you fail and no one's around. Who are you then? What's your character all about? You know, are you the same person in victory as you are in defeat? Or not? A solid person no matter what's in front of them. You know, they speak the same way to the president as they do to the bum. In victory, adversity, defeat, they remain true, unyielding character. I mean, I failed a lot, man. The other thing about failure, I've never let it stay. I've always revisited. So I failed, it knocked my ass. I found the intestinal cord to stand back up, reface that failure. After learning from what happened, identifying why I failed as a report part of life, improving the weak link in my chain of life to make me more capable. Then I go back after that failure, this time successful. That's the sweetest thing ever. So failure, we all fail in life. Not a problem. You know, giving up, that's permanent. Failure is temporary. All the times we fail, not a big deal. We all have. Every successful person, Thomas Edison put these lights in here. 1,093 times he tried to make that light bulb light. And then it finally did. 1,093 tries. I can't say I've ever tried anything with without effort more than 10 times. I'm not saying, all right, man, it's not for me. This guy 1,000 times, and then finally it lit. All of his failures, he eventually got better and better and better. All his failures were his successes. And he kept going until it was successful. He never quit. If you quit, it's permanent. Failure, it's learning, it's growth. As long as you continue to try and fail. Continue to try and fail. Continue to try and fail. Never failing to try. Nothing's impossible. Nothing's impossible. You guys know how you spell impossible, by the way? Impossible? You guys realize impossible is spelled possible? Everything has been done by somebody. And the weird thing is, those people with far less talent than you, they've achieved far more than you. And it's only you and your mind holding you back from what it is. And that's what's crazy. You know, out there in the expert, people come to me and go, well, you know, I don't have the genetics and I don't have the potential. You know, I wasn't born with the genetics. I hate those people. They're just selling out so fast. Because in the game of life, who crosses the finish line in life is not the most genetic person. It's not the person with the greatest potential. The person that crosses the finish line is the person with the greatest perseverance. They're always good at battle. Get up and throw shit against the wall. Keep throwing shit against the wall until eventually something sticks. That's the person with their hand raised. The person with the genetic gift usually has never hit failure, so he's never learned from it. He doesn't have fire. The people that are real successful, they have a talent, and they pursue it, but it's backloaded with passion and love. They enjoy it. And so they don't see it as work, they see it as love. Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, you know those guys, billionaires, they say they've never gone to work a day in their life. They love it going to work. That's what drives them to get up at 5 in the morning and create something. I mean, it's about the vision of where we're going. It keeps them going. They're not stuck in the moment. So failure, I think, is a great thing. I wish people could see it that way too. And I think a lot of these fears people have, like they don't try something. There's a great looking girl over there, but man, I don't want to get rejected, so I'm not even going to go up. Well, if you don't show up, you know the outcome. Nothing. It's like auditions, and I'm in LA for movies. If I don't go to the audition, there is no way, man, I can never get the part. No way, it's zero chance. Zero chance. If I go to the audition, I have a chance. whatever happens, happens, but at least I have a chance. I continue to go. Eventually, one of those chances is going to, blossom into the fruition of what I want to do. You've got to put yourself out there. That girl looks great, man. I'm just nervous and everything else. It's not about that girl, man. You go up to her anyway. If you don't, there's no way you go into a movie with her or going out having dinner. She's never the mother of your children, Like it never happened. You have to go up there. And you go up there, She slaps you in the face. It's okay. Don't worry about it. At least you know. It's better to know than wonder what if, I think. Right? But what it's really about, look at the bigger picture, it's not about that girl, or the next girl, or the next 5 girls. It's the 6th girl. All these 5 girls right now, you were never supposed to be with. It wasn't in your cards. What was in your cards is your strength and confidence to go up to that person. And go up to, even got rejected. You broke these barriers, these fears, these failures, these states of rejection, right? You broke them. So when you went up to the 6th one, who was prettier than all of them, you had never gone to the 6th one the first try. She's way too much. But all these things built up your confidence, So when it was all on the line, you delivered. And you got the greatest reward ever. You know what I'm saying? There's a bigger picture of things. Stop judging every failure or every achievement or every moment as a closed situation. They're all linked to each other. And every successful endeavor in life, every single thing, all of our heroes or role models have failed a million times before they ever succeeded. It's the perseverance, the ability to get back up and keep going after the endeavor. That's what I love about the gym too. Non-subjective. No one can take it away or give it to you. It's yours to have. Subjective nature means, like in life, it's very subjective. Sometimes you get the job, sometimes you don't get the job. You don't always control it. In the gym, you control the ins and the outs. Yes, you build a body, that's great, But what you really build is the mentality, the belief, the confidence that you can overcome anything. Through the lessons we learn in the gym, those lessons are character building blocks. Those things like dedication, sacrifice, due diligence, sweat equity. We learn how to hone those arsenals to turn into something. Yeah, the body looks great, but our belief and confidence of who we are now is unstoppable. People are like, wow. You're just like, dude, I can do anything, man. So there's no longer problems. There's situations I can manipulate through all these practices of dedication, sacrifice, due diligence to make them into my favor. So, failure, it's a good thing, man. It really is. No one that's successful, all our heroes and everything else, they've failed a million times. So, welcome failure. Because I think when you do that, you really open your eyes to possibilities of who you can be. What else, guys? What else? Good on time?
You're in the super theatre and the guys will probably want to put some photos of you before you go, so you've got 10 minutes?
What time do I have to be in the theatre?
3 o'clock?
In 10 minutes. And then talk for an hour. Okay. All right, I guess we're done, guys. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good questions. Great.
You've got to be, I think the best thing you've ever said is, think all the time you fall short, not because of the talent, because you didn't have a heart. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, man. It's always the heart of the champion. But
You got him.
look long dick I have.
Let's
see you on your toes, that's all. How you doing, buddy? Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Oh, cool. Cool, man. Yeah, buddy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Good, man. How are you? Good. Good, man. Thanks, man. Sure.
That's you, the pub.